Next on NAZ Today, a Phoenix police officer has died.
The Navajo Nation president speaks out.
And one NAU professor tells us what we can learn from the conflict in Ukraine. Good evening and welcome to NAZ Today. I'm Matt Tantow.
And I'm Imani Payne. Thank you for joining us. A Phoenix police officer was shot and killed Monday afternoon. The 21-year veteran was killed after a shootout with a man wanted on a felony warrant. His partner, who was also shot, is in critical condition.
This is a devastating blow to the city of Phoenix and Arizona law enforcement community. NAZ Today spoke with local law enforcement officials and Flagstaff to learn more about the bond all law enforcement officers share and what a loss like this means to them.
Our hearts and prayers are with Phoenix Police Department and the officer's family and his co-workers who were killed yesterday. Whether it's the Highway Patrol, city police, county, federal, it doesn't matter. When something happens, we all work together. So when situations like this occur, we all feel it deeply.
Phoenix Chief of Police Daniel Garcia had this to say about the loss.
It's amazing to me that in such a tragedy, I'm constantly besieged by emails and text messages from my troops. Reaching out to me, asking me if I'm doing okay. I'm so proud of the men and women of the Phoenix Police Department.
Anytime an incident like this occurs, whether it's in your agency or it's another agency, it really takes you down to why you came to work in this job. And most of us came to work to help the public. Over the years, officers can get jaded, they can stray from the reasons they come. So when they hear an incident like this, say, hey, this person gave their life, now why did they do that? They gave it for the right reasons. So it goes to a lot of internal reflection of why you're in this job. Additionally, it takes you to your officer safety. Okay, what could that officer have done differently? Maybe they couldn't have done anything. So it kind of really takes you back to sharpen what you're looking at.
For NAZ Today, I'm Jacob Larson.
Protests in the Ukraine continue tonight, with most citizens upset over Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych's decision to accept aid from Russia. NAZ Today reporter Xavier Rangel, along with videographer Corey Norfleet, met with Professor of Politics and International Affairs Dr. Paul Lenz for a closer look at this conflict in Ukraine.
Rioters have taken to the streets in Ukraine after Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych's decision to decline a European trade and political deal and instead has accepted a $15 billion bailout from Russia. After months of ongoing protests, Yanukovych has left the capital, allowing protesters to take control of the city. Since then, however, Yanukovych has vowed to remain in power and has requested the assistance of Russian President Vladimir Putin, who has sent Russian military forces into Crimea, located in southern Ukraine, with 59% of the population being ethnic Russians. Dr. Paul Lenz explains that the Russian military assistance in Crimea allows for Russia to have a strategic presence in Eastern Europe.
What's taking place in Ukraine is a fascinating case study of what essentially is a strategic issue. It's a strategic issue for the Russians and for Vladimir Putin because Russia has a long history of involvement with the Ukraine. And Russia sees the Ukraine as an important country economically because of agriculture that it receives from the Ukraine, but also because of natural gas that is sold between the Ukraine and Russia. It is in Russia's strategic interest to protect the Ukraine because for Vladimir Putin, it's economic.
Ukraine has become a battleground for political and economic influence between Russia and the European Union. For Putin, having the Ukraine as an ally would allow him to further integrate and regain influence over former Soviet nations. Dr. Lenz says he discusses these topics in class because we must be aware of what is happening in the world.
The United States is the sole remaining superpower, and we have a hand in, or we're trying to influence and spread this idea of democracy around the world, because when you have multiple democracies in various regions, this helps to promote stability. Teaching about Ukraine and about Eastern Europe is important because Russia is a country that's trying to regain since 1991, it's been trying to regain its status as a major power in the international community. So it's important to teach about the various reasons why this type of behavior occurs in our world.
Dr. Lentz believes we must keep an eye on European allies and that an increased understanding of diplomatic issues will allow us to better understand international conflicts for justice. For NAZ Today, I'm Xavier Rangel.
Navajo Nation President Ben Shelley took his message to Washington last week.
I would say to the congressional people, the House representatives, and also the senators in Congress, get off my back.
The U.S. Department of Interior is moving forward with that request. In 2013, the General Leasing Regulation Act was passed to streamline residential and business site leasing on the Navajo Nation. The new act gives the nation authority to approve those leases without involvement from the Bureau of Indian Affairs. Shelley wants the act broadened to also take the Bureau out of the process of approving mineral and right-of-way leases.
Let me create my own laws. I have a lot of natural resource on my land that I can create jobs and revenue for the nation.
On another note, Shelley told NAZ Today that he's looking for what he's looking for in the next president of Northern Arizona University.
To understand, the more of our students are going to these universities, so I would say more of I would look in a person. It could be a non-Indian, providing if he knows tradition and culture of Indians.
Shelley is a member of the committee set to meet Wednesday at NAU. Up next on NAZ Today, find out why tourism has become a hot topic in the city of Page.
And Kimberly Kraft has our latest tax tip.
All right, good evening, y'all. Thick cloud cover out there today. Never really broke. Didn't see much sunshine. A very weak storm system crossing Arizona. Even hard to point out. Just a little bit of cloud cover. Some radar echoes are showing up. Some very light showers are coming down across the very eastern border. We're going to talk about the evolution of this storm system and how it's going to play out for us here in the weather department as we make our way towards the weekend.
Hi, I bought Pepsi Next.
What's Pepsi Next?
It's the latest cola from Pepsi. It's got real cola taste, but 60% less sugar.
Real cola taste, 60% less sugar.
Yeah, I know.
It's unbelievable.
But this is the most impressive thing I've ever experienced in my entire life.
Oh, definitely. Look at the camera. I've never had anything like it. Oh, my parents are gonna.
Yeah, they're gonna be so proud.
Pepsi Next. Drink it to believe it.
Okay, so we drowned the fire.
Yep.
Stirred it. Drowned it again. And now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Be sure to tune in to NAZ Today every Wednesday at 6 and 10 p.m. for the NAZ Today Car Tip of the Week. This week brought to you by Terry Markson Chevrolet Cadillac, located on Highway 66.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
Welcome back. Now, as we move into spring, our thoughts naturally stray to the outdoors. Tourism is one of the biggest economic drivers in our part of the world. The city of Page has demonstrated an aggressive push to get those visitor dollars.
Page put itself on the map with grand vistas and over-the-top annual events like its Balloon Regatta. A new National Park Service report shows that more than 2 million people visited Glen Canyon National Recreation Area and Rainbow Bridge National Monument in 2012. They spent $190 million, supporting nearly 1,500 jobs in the local area. It's a combination of air, land, and water that attracts people to the region.
Water, we've got Lake Powell. We've got the Colorado River you can go down with a couple of businesses here in town. You got the Glen Canyon Dam that's a beautiful piece of architecture in its own right. In the air, we've got some fantastic air tours via airplane or helicopter. Did you know that there's one company that will put you right on top of Tower Butte?
Page suffered a double whammy with last year's government shutdown and the collapse of Highway 89 from geological forces. Since then, a new road has opened and the city has launched a website to court visitors. So far, they have reached out to more than 76 countries.
Just this month, we've got 2 fam tours coming from Brazil. So we're very excited about that because that's a new market that I don't think we've ever tapped into before, and anxious to see the results we'll get from that.
In spite of adversity, hotel and motel taxes went up last year. With the tourism season fast approaching, Page has thrown out the welcome mat. For NAZ Today, I'm Miles Schneiderman.
April 15th is fast approaching. If you don't know that, that's the deadline for filing your taxes. NAZ Today's Kimberly Kraft sat down with the IRS and found out that there is free tax preparation available in northern Arizona.
We are in the midst of tax season, and my guest today is Bill Brunson from the IRS. Welcome, Bill.
Kimberly, thanks for having the Internal Revenue Service on.
Well, we all have to pay taxes, but some of us need a little extra help, and there is free help available. Why don't you tell us what that looks like?
Well, free tax help is available to members of the community who earn around $58,000 or less, or are elderly, or disabled, or English as a second language. And these free tax help sites have been around since about 1969, when Congress mandated to the Internal Revenue Service that we need to provide assistance to the general public due to the complexity of the tax code. So out of that came VITA, Voluntary Individual Tax Assistance, and then AARP came along and established tax counseling for the elderly. So individuals can contact the Internal Revenue Service or AARP and find out where these sites are nearest them, and they'll probably give them 1 or 2 or 3 within their geographic area of a zip code, and they'll tell you what you need to bring and when it's open, that sort of thing. So you want to bring probably a copy of last year's tax return. That would be a good thing, and photo ID for yourself and anyone else you're claiming on the return, as well as social security numbers or tax identification numbers, and W-2s and 1099s, those information returns you should have already received in the mail. Things like that to help them prepare the return for you.
Now, these are volunteers, as we know.
That's
These are
correct.
Volunteers, but they have to go through recertification every year, correct?
That's correct. They are trained and tested by the Internal Revenue Service so that they will prepare a quality product. And they will do both federal and state of Arizona tax returns, electronically file them at no cost, and they'll check for various items such as deductions and credits and allowable expenses, specifically for the Earned Income Tax Credit, which is a very valuable credit for an individual. If you're going to post-secondary college, school, there may be some sort of credit in that area. If you're paying mortgage interest, there could be a deduction available there. So there are a lot of things that they're going to ask you and look for, and they're going to use software to file that tax return so that it's the best way possible electronically.
That's great, Bill. I'm sure we'll talk about some of those issues at the next time we see you, but in the meantime, all of this information is available at naztoday.com. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Kimberly.
And it's been pretty gloomy outside today. Is snow or sun on the way? Meteorologist Lee Boren will tell us.
And find out where Amanda Frost's career stacks up with the all-time greats. Stick around.
I was an ordinary guy, but I switched to Suddenlink's new internet, and now I can't stop being awesome, because it's the fastest in town. Downloads, uploads, any kind of load, everything just flows at speeds 13 times faster than phone company DSL. Even when the whole family is online, there's no buffering. With DSL, we were suffering. Yep, anything the phone company can do, I can do faster. Now that I have the next big thing from Suddenlink. Now that I have a house full of easy.
And we're out. You got plans?
You bet.
50 million Americans struggle with hunger, but we can do something about it.
Excuse me. What's going on? Dinner.
Please join me in helping put food on their tables. Together, we can feed America.
You guys keep going. I'm going to get the plates.
Plates?
Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/hunger.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Tonight's NAZ Today weather is brought to you in part by Terry Markson Chevrolet Cadillac in Flagstaff.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
All right, a little bit different out there today. Cloudy day. Haven't had many of those here this winter. Few light sprinkles reported around town in Flagstaff. The airport is not even reporting a trace. Our high temperature 52 degrees, a few degrees below where we had forecast. We weren't expecting clouds to be this thick, but this latest storm system that moved through today brought quite a bit of cloud cover with it, some low-level moisture, and here it is, and you really can't see any type of circulation or anything. It's a very weak upper-level low, and it kind of took a very dry path, and it's just barely clipping the four corners. We're seeing a little bit of this green pop up as well, and none of this moisture is reaching the ground. There is some fairly decent rain showers along our very eastern border coming down, and as we make our way through the night, this thing's going to clear out. We're going to see some decreasing clouds, and behind this, we have a couple days of pretty strong high pressure and much warmer temperatures in the forecast, and then another storm system very similar moves through on Friday, and we'll talk more about that in a second. Take a look at the storm system. Whoops, let's try to go back here if I can. Yeah, take a look at the storm system on the nationwide loop, and just some very scattered light rain and snow showers throughout the Intermountain West with this thing. But I want to take you all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico, deep south. Today's Fat Tuesday, and it's a wet one down in New Orleans. Mardi Gras, people getting soaked. Our own Bonnie Stevens there joining parade, seen some pictures of her all sopping wet, but enjoying the festivities out there. We have a little bit of snow up in the Midwest and very light snowfall in the Northeast. Current temperatures right now down at festivities in the Big Easy. It's 39 degrees in New Orleans. Louisville right now 34, Chicago 21, and this is just the area of the country that's been in the cold core this whole entire winter. It's very mild out west right now. It's 72 in Las Vegas, 73 in Phoenix. Here in Flagstaff right now, 48 degrees, cloudy skies, winds out of the west at 8 miles per hour. As I mentioned, I think these clouds decrease as we make our way towards morning. We'll call it gradual clearing, early morning low forecast to get down into the mid-20s. For us tomorrow, I think quite a bit warmer, a lot more sunshine out there. 58 degrees what we're forecast, way above the average in the mid-upper 40s this time of year. Sunrise is at 6:51. Statewide temperatures, everybody warms up and sees a whole lot more sunshine tomorrow than we did today, and that'll really remain the case into Thursday as well. Occasional high clouds out there. Sedona forecasting 70 Wednesday, 68 in Prescott, 82 Phoenix, Payson 67, Winslow 65 degrees, and up in Tuba City 60 degrees. Okay. The extended forecast, warm out here Wednesday and Thursday, occasional high cloud cover, but we'll call it mostly sunny. Friday, I think the breeze picks up. We have another storm system similar to the one today, a very dry storm track, nothing impressive. Some increase in the cloud cover, decrease in the temperatures, maybe some sprinkles out there. Still a little uncertain how that thing's going to play out on Friday. It's certainly not a very moist storm system. Much cooler as we get into Saturday with a little bit of a northerly breeze. The coolest day of the forecast on Saturday. It's all sunshine in the weekend, though. Temperatures right back jumping up on Sunday. If we're down in Sedona, it's right around 70 degree mark the next few days. Breezy out there to round out the work week and into the early portion of the weekend, and then things warming right back up. So nothing really exciting in the forecast. Just kind of ho-hum out there.
Well, while it was cloudy today, I have to admit, I feel like we're being toyed with a little bit. Where's the snow?
Yeah, a little bit of a tease, but no snow in those clouds.
Though a nice foot of powder up on the mountain, right, from this last storm.
Foot and a half. They got 20 inches.
Nice. So
yeah,
at least it's up there. I know people are heading up there all week.
Yeah, I heard it's really nice. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, well, Alex is here with sports, and it sounds like you got some updated scores on the Coconino softball game.
Yeah, Coconino softball just went final. I'll tell you about that score coming up.
Hi, I'm Terry Markson. As seasons change, so does the inventory at Terry Markson Chevrolet Cadillac. But before we make room for the 2014 Cadillacs, we've still got a huge selection of brand new 2013s to choose from. Models like the powerful CTS, the ATS voted 2013 Car of the Year, the popular SRX crossover, and Cadillac's crown jewel, the Escalade. You can always count on our same relaxed, no pressure environment. Terry Markson Chevrolet Cadillac, real hometown value.
Live with a human for a while and you get to know a few things. Like, I know she's actually not a morning person. I know she does strange tricks for no treats. I know that water makes her howl like crazy. I even know how the floor stays so clean. She's quick. But the one thing I will never for the life of me know is how she gets so tiny and inside that box. Natalie, how do you get so tiny?
Well, America's favorite pastime is back as baseball and softball are both starting to take over all of Arizona. The home softball season started today for the Coconino Panthers, who finished 21-9 last season and made it into the second round of the state tournament. Lady Panthers have started off a little bit slow this season, starting 0-4 and hosted Dysart earlier today. We just got a final on this game, actually, and it was a blowout. The Panthers defeated the Demons 17-0 and enforced the mercy rule at 5 innings. Coconino's next game is Thursday at home against Lake Havasu. The NEU swim and dive team won the WAC championships this past weekend, their first in program history. Coach Andy Johns talks about when he knew the team clinched the championship.
We kind of knew after Saturday morning so that we could go into Saturday night relaxed and just and have fun. And once the mile happened, when we swept the mile, it really just flowed from there.
A program used to coming out on top is the track and field teams, and it showed once again as they swept the Big Sky championships on both the men's and women's side. Despite the championship, Coach Eric Hines is already getting his team ready for the outdoor season.
Right now we have to get ready. 2 athletes will be going to the indoor nationals. Everybody else is getting ready for outdoor. We tell them to take 3 or 4 days off and rest and relax and then start getting ready for outdoors then. But yeah, right now it's just kind of enjoying this one.
The first outdoor meet is March 21st at the Spring Break Collegiate Classic in Irvine, California. And after the NEU men's basketball team's road sweep this past weekend, the Jacks not only looked good in the playoff picture, but one player earned a couple of honors. Junior transfer Quentin Upshur earned the Mid-Major and Big Sky Player of the Week. Upshur averaged 27 points per game, shooting 47% from the field, and defensively he was pretty good as well. He had 1.5 steals in those 2 contests. This will set up an exciting final week of the regular season against both Montana State and Montana. Even though the NEU women's team lost to Weber State Saturday, Amanda Frost found her way into the record books by recording 1,000 points in her career. After scoring 18 points on Saturday, that brings Amanda's total to 1,017 points for her career. She still has 2 more games to score more points, as right now she is 14th in scoring in program history. Let's take a look at some people ahead of Amanda Frost right now. This is the list of numbers 10 through 14. Hopefully that comes up here pretty soon. Amanda is in reach of attaining that number 10 spot. She needs 45 points in the last 2 games to crack the top 10 list. Amy Patton remains number 1 at 1,938 points in her career. Earlier today, the NEU women's tennis team took the courts against Western Michigan, trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. The Lumberjacks lost to the Broncos by a final score of 6-1. This brings the Jacks season record to 2-9, and now they're on a 6-game losing streak. The team's next match is against Gonzaga on the road this Friday, March 7th. And don't forget about the NEU Pro Day tomorrow. The event begins at 9 a.m. for the workout portion of the Pro Day. Afterwards, the participants will head up to the upper fields by Lyra Kinsey Elementary for the individual drills. Zach Bowman, Anders Battle, and Lucky Dozier headline the participants. And today, the Arizona Diamondbacks took on the San Diego Padres as part of their spring training. They defeated the Padres 8-6. Paul Goldschmidt scored 3 runs, while Martin Prado had 3 hits on the day. The Diamondbacks have a spring training record of 5-4 and take on the Kansas City Royals tomorrow. So already, Diamondbacks starting to look pretty well. Randall Delgado, he gave up 2 home runs, but he'll work his way through.
Okay, well, hey, it's only the first couple weeks of spring training, right? So,
yep.
Okay.
I haven't heard those names, Goldschmidt and Prado, in a while, so kind of get me back in the mindset of baseball.
There you go. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, we have more coming up next. Stay with us.
We can restore southwestern forests.
We are working to create sustainable wildlands.
Healthier forests.
Healthier watersheds.
Healthier grasslands.
Healthier meadows.
Healthier streams.
Healthier trees.
Healthier wildlife habitat. Healthier wildflowers.
Healthier soils. Healthier fire conditions.
We're putting fire back into the ecosystem.
We need healthier economies.
Sustainable jobs. Sustainable communities.
At the Ecological Restoration Institute, we're finding solutions to unhealthy ecosystems.
That's what we do.
That's what I do.
I'm with the Ecological Restoration Institute at Northern Arizona University.
I'm with ERI.
We're at NAU. Let's restore.
Let's restore.
Let's restore southwestern forests.
Looking for these? You drive Buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here. I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog.
All right, welcome back, folks. A little bit warmer out there tomorrow, Thursday. High pressure right on top of us. Occasional high clouds. Friday, another weak storm system rolls through. The breeze will pick up. Temperatures start to decrease. Northerly breeze on Saturday brings much cooler temperatures down into the upper 40s. And then temperatures warm right back up for a lovely Sunday. And for you down in Sedona, temperatures right around the 70-degree mark here. The next several days, a little cooler on Saturday.
And if you didn't know, Pancake Day, and since 2006, IHOP restaurants have been celebrating the day by providing a free short stack of pancakes, buttermilk pancakes, to the community. Today, hungry breakfast lovers can stop by participating in IHOP restaurants for 3 free flapjacks until 10 p.m. tonight. In return for the free pancakes, guests will be asked to consider leaving a donation for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So far, IHOP has raised $13 million to support charities across the nation. I know these two folks are going to IHOP right after this newscast.
So excited. So excited.
Okay.
Here comes a big dinner rush.
Thank you so much and have a great night, guys.